The wonderful, in my opinion, and brilliant Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Catherine, will be attending this week's Royal Variety performance at the beautiful Royal Albert Hall in the very heart of Kensington. Have you been? It's a marvellous place, isn't it? What I find fascinating about it is when you think of what's gone on there over the years, the biggest events, the biggest celebrations, and of course recently the remembrance celebration of all those wonderful fallen war veterans and all of that. You think, goodness, what's really gone in here? This is an historical building and still maintained absolutely beautifully today. A good spot, some people might say, for the Royal Variety performance. For others, we still prefer the likes of the Victoria Palace and of course the London Palladium. As a performer, it's the Palladium that matters, you know. The Royal Albert Hall is really nice, but it's not exactly the venue that you associate with if you've reached the pinnacle, you know what I'm saying? Yes, it's a bit like that, you know. Now, what's interesting over at the Royal Variety performance, I would say this year, well, is this. As ever, let me explain. Morning, chums. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for taking the time out to join me today. Welcome, one and all brand new subscribers. It is lovely to see you. I've worked on the Royal Variety, appeared on the Royal Variety, and the thing is, it's a marvellous thing because everybody is really buoyed by it. You know what I mean? It's that special where you really have to give your best. I mean, you are nervous, right? A good friend of mine, Michael Crawford, put it very succinctly as to why he found very nerve-wracking. He was the top of the bill, you know, so he's got to go through the whole show. And he said he was pacing up and down outside the Palladium, and the guy said, "What's wrong, Michael?" And I thought, no, I know what's wrong. You know, I understood it. But the thing is, when you are the top of the bill, remember, even more expectation when you finally hit it. Absolutely. This year, as I said, it's a strange bill to me. It's very much a lot of the, musicals, right? Nothing wrong with that. But again, here's the segment from this musical, here's the segment from that. Is that really variety? I wouldn't say so. It's been hosted, of course, by the alleged comedian Jason Manford. Last seen really spouting out to everybody that, well, we really should be voting for Keir Starmer, right? So, I mean, that's not going to go down well, is it? But the bigger issue, right, and this to me is the biggest issue. If you remember way back 40 years ago now, there was a celebration and a record that really changed everything. Do They Know It's Christmas? Put together brilliantly by Midge Ure and Bob Geldof. But Midge Ure, in my opinion, was the supreme talent behind it. Lots of big stars, right? And then in 1989, they did the second version of that over with Stock Aitken Waterman at PWL Studios. And it had all their stars plus many more, Bono, Kate Bush. I mean, you just name it. It was like a roll call of the biggest people in music at that time. Here's where this gets really interesting because Bob Geldof earlier this year basically said he didn't recognise the 1989 version. No, he wasn't interested. It was, oh, no. He dismissed it. Remember, this is a record that went to #1, made millions for charity. Everybody gave their time for free, and he wasn't bothered. He was very clear he didn't recognise it, right? Now, here's where you think the double standards are. Okay. Bob Geldof will be appearing with Midge Ure at this year's Royal Variety performance for the musical that he's clearly got some sort of hand in, Live Aid. And it's a recreation of that concert, which, as we all know about, right? Here's the thing that I find very strange, because obviously when you think about it, you're asking people to turn up at a charitable event at the Royal Albert Hall, and you're also celebrating a charitable event. But one might suggest that Bob Geldof himself, Sir Bob Geldof, right, isn't particularly charitable himself. Why would you say that about a project that really made that particular charity a lot of money? And here's the double standards, right? The minute there's a camera, the minute, of course, there's the opportunity to showboat on a wonderful stage like the Royal Albert Hall, guess what? Bob Geldof's there. And as I said, my only bite with the Royal Variety performance, I know they do good works. I know the money's raised for all the former acts and stuff that live in various properties like Brinsworth House. But really, the true word of variety is completely lost. This is a mixture of musicals, pop stars, and the best act that they haven't really promoted, the wonderful comedian Mick Miller. Let's hope they give him some reasonable airtime. As ever, it's a developing story. When I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean, Kensington, London.